Working on the train at Silver Dollar City was one of the best jobs I have ever had. Here's 8 things that I absolutely loved about working at Silver Dollar City. I love working at theme parks. They've always been one of my favorite places to visit and to work at as well. I have a ton of fun when I was doing it. But there were some things that definitely were better than others, and some of the things that helped make the jobs just absolutely fantastic. Silver Dollar City was a great place to work when I was there, and there were a number of things that contributed to that. Here's 8 of them. The very first one that I think about is how incredibly beautiful the park was. Missouri, if you're not familiar with it, in the Southwest, is in the Ozarks. They're giant foothills, but it's just a beautiful area, and Silver Dollar City is nestled right in the middle of it. You've got the woods that aren't just outside of the park, but they're in the park. There's places with lots of trees and shade and scenery, and it is just a beautiful place. Couldn't ask for a better place to go hang around all day, every day, and just be out in the middle of this beautiful area. Absolutely gorgeous. So that would be the very first thing. The second one, kind of related to that, is part of the landscape as well, and it's actually what the park was built around, and that's the cave. It's amazing how many people do not realize that there is a giant cave in the middle of Silver Dollar City. It's called the Marvel Cave, and it actually has a 1-hour tour you can take, and that's included with your admission at Silver Dollar City. It's huge. The first cavern is literally so big that they have actually flown 3 full-size hot air balloons in there at the same time. It's mammoth, and it's beautiful. Well worth the tour if you can do the steps. Love going there, and of course on a hot summer day, it's always 68 degrees. You go in and cool off. Or if it happens to be a cold winter day, well, then you get to go in and warm up because it's still 68 degrees. Number 3 is the wildlife. So many wild animals out there. When I was working on the train, we had chipmunks that lived under the station. We had raccoons that lived over inside the flooded mine. There were squirrels all over the place. Birds. We would have bald eagles fly overhead. We had a couple times that we had giant barn owls out on the train. There were deer everywhere. One of the things I loved riding on the train as you would go along is we always had a few does that had their fawns out there right around the tracks. And so from spring to mid-fall, you could ride and you'd almost always see these fawns out there along the tracks. Just a really neat place for that. We encountered all sorts of things. I had an encounter with a bobcat and so many different animals. Loved the nature and the wildlife that was there. Number 4, the weather. Now, I know this might sound a little funny to some of you, but one of the things I absolutely love about Missouri is that it actually has seasons. Not like Florida where you have hot and wet or hot and dry, or sometimes occasionally cool, or Southern California where it was almost always the same. I love the fact that there's a real winter here. It's not a severe winter. You get a little bit of snow, but nothing that's terrible. You have a warm, hot summer. You have a nice spring and a nice fall. And the temperature can change a bunch even from day to day, but you definitely have a good idea what season you are in. It makes it wonderful. Just as you start to get sick of winter, hey, here's spring. Just as you get sick of summer, here's fall. So while you might have some extreme days, it was always a nice time. Spring, everything is in bloom and green. Fall, you'd get all of the colors of the leaves changing, and just a gorgeous time. Winter, you'd get snow, and yes, I have been on the train in the snow. I've robbed trains in the snow. It's just beautiful out there in the middle of the woods and that. Number 4, the guests. I loved working with the guests. Most of the guests were wonderful, and the ones that weren't, they moved on pretty quickly, so you didn't have to hang around them too long. Guests easily were one of the best part of the jobs, and the neat thing with Silver Dollar City being kind of a regional park is you had a lot of regulars, a lot of season pass holders, and we would have people that would come down and ride the train several times a year. So we would get to know them a little bit, and they get to know us, and you would start to form not just a, hi, how are you, but an actual friendship. How are things going down in Arkansas, or over at home, or over in Oklahoma, because you would get to know where they were from, and what they liked and what they didn't. And we would have regulars like the cookie lady who would bring us cookies out on the train that we would get to share and eat. It was kind of funny because you would have some that would get to know the train show so well that they could recite the lines for you. Now, most of them were smart enough not to do that because if people start shouting out the lines early, it does kind of ruin the show. But what was hilarious, we actually had one guy that rode the train so often my first 2 years there. I mean, he was literally there several times a year, all the time riding the train. He had the whole entire thing memorized. And we got so used to him being there that there were actually times that I was conducting that we would hand him the microphone and let him conduct and let our voices take a break. Well, sure enough, after a couple years, guess who actually came out and worked on the train with us for a year? He became one of us officially at that point. Number 7, visiting the park. Okay, this is kind of a cool perk, really, because if you're working at the park, then you get to come out to the park. And there are definitely times when you've been working at the park that you get tired of being at the park, and so you don't want to go. But one of the things I love with Silver Dollar City is it has all these festivals where there's constant change in their entertainment, in the shows they have, and various things that are going on. During the fall festival, you've got all sorts of craftspeople that are out there shopping, and the cowboys, and during Christmas, all the lights and so forth. In World Fest, you get all sorts of different groups from around the world, although now it's called the Festival of Wonder. Just a really neat thing to be able to just go out and just relax and check out something new. My wife absolutely loves walking around the park. She doesn't always love going with me because I end up talking to people I know, and she would really just kind of go and be alone. But we enjoy just being able to go and relax and hang around. It's why even though I don't work there anymore, I've usually had an annual pass just so we can go out and do that. Visiting the park was great, and thankfully it's the one perk that you really get to keep that even after you aren't working there anymore, you can still do. Speaking of perks, that would be number 7. Some of the perks were incredible, especially with an entertainment area like Branson. If you've never been to Branson, Missouri, there are a ton of theater shows, music reviews, musical acts. Last I heard, it was like over 130 different shows. All sorts of stuff going on. Well, one of the neat things working at Silver Dollar City is you can actually go to most of the shows free. Silver Dollar City allows the people working at the theaters to come to the park free, and so you get to go to see the shows free. It also lets you see what's good and what's not. The vast majority of it's really good. There are a few entertainment spots that you get to go to and get discounts on. It makes it really nice when you've got a free day or two. Hey, let's go check out this show. Let's go try that thing. And to be able to do that for nothing. That's probably the one perk I really miss the most. Is we loved going to see the shows. Me probably more than the rest of my family. But I absolutely loved it. Now I've got to pay. I still look for discounts. I still get to get into a lot of them at a much reduced rate because I know how to work the system and look for the right discounts and stuff. But I do miss being able to go to all the shows free. We still manage to get to our favorites, but it'd be nice to go check out some of the other ones that I just can't afford anymore. The last one, though, is probably my biggest one. And that is actually the people who work at the park. One of the things that was amazing to me at Silver Dollar City is when you work there, it really becomes like family. At least when I was there, and it had been that way for years. I hope it hasn't changed much. There was a group of us that really got to know each other, and it wasn't just within our group and our division. Yes, the train guys were close, but I would actually go up to the cafeteria every day I worked and eat breakfast with another group of people. We kind of call ourselves the Breakfast Club, I guess you could say. But we had people from all over the park, in entertainment, in the cave, at different rides, different shows. We had this big group of us that we would just sit down and we had a great time getting to know each other, support each other, to pray with each other at times, just to shoot the breeze. And many of those same people, even though it's been several years since I've been there now, are still good close friends of mine, and I watch what they're doing. A few have retired, a couple have gone into teaching and other jobs. Others have gone to be home and be able to take care of their kids. But there's still so many that are out in the area. I run into them at the mall still. If I do visit the park, I see them. It made us close, and I love that about Silver Dollar City. I can remember one time I went to go to the cafeteria, and as I got up to the cashier, I realized that I didn't have my money with me for some reason. I can't even remember why I didn't have money. But one of the other guys that was lined at the register was a guy named Ray. He was the knife maker at the time. And he immediately pops out money and pays for me, and thanks, Ray, I'll cover you back. No, you won't. And the next day I brought the money back, and I actually ended up chasing Ray around the cafeteria trying to pay him back. Ray was a character, loved him to death. Sadly, several months after that, he was gone, passed on. He didn't even get a chance to retire. I actually have an old Silver Dollar City mug, though, that has his picture on it while he was making a knife. Probably my one regret is I didn't get one of Ray's knives. I wish I'd had the opportunity, but just getting together with people and getting to know them. The Homestead Pickers were a normal group that was up there, and we got to know them well. And if you ever go to Silver Dollar City, you got to go see the Homestead Pickers. They are just a fantastically fun show. Even if you don't like country music, go anyways. You'll enjoy them. Trust me. Got to know several people in the street troupe really well as well. And just great people all the way around. it was one of those things that when you knew you were going to work, you would look forward to getting to go see your friends. Yes, you had the job that came along with it, and that was fun too. But man, I get to go see all these people. And it's one of the things I loved when I wasn't working there anymore. It's why I love going back to visit, because I get to see all my friends who are still there. There's not as many as there used to be, and the numbers seem to be shrinking, but there's still a lot of people I do know. Love the people out there. Great group of people, and it was wonderful to be part of the family. And I think once you're part of the Silver Dollar City family, you're always part of it because it's just stuck in you. So there's 8 things I loved about working at Silver Dollar City. If you work in a park, I'd love to know what your favorite things are about working there. What makes it feel like home for you? If you've been to Silver Dollar City, what are your favorite parts of the park? I'd love to hear your feedback. Please leave it in the comments below. Don't forget to like and share the video. If you hadn't subscribed yet, make sure you hit that subscribe button and hit the bell so you can get the notifications so you know when there's new videos. Check out the links below too for my Facebook page, my Discord, my Reddit page, merchandise, and everything else that's all in the description below. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you to my patrons for supporting me too. You all rock. You take care of me and are patient when I've got so much going on, and my patrons make so much possible. So thank you for their financial support. If you want to know more about Patreon, check out the link below as well. Thank you so much, and God bless. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit that button right there. If you'd like to see another great video of mine, there's a good one right there for you. And if you'd like to be like these wonderful people and support me on Patreon, hit that link right there. Thanks so much.